All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are tracing an absolutely epic 92-year journey to understand the historical fame of the World Cup, from 1930 all the way to 2022. We're going to break down exactly how this sport transformed from its fairly gritty, humble origins into the massive, ultra-realistic global phenomenon we all know and love today. So let's get into it.
To really wrap our heads around this 92-year legacy, we have to look at it as literally the greatest story in football history. I mean, it's not just about the raw data or the match statistics, right? It's about the roaring crowds, the unbelievably dramatic goals, and those foundational myths forged right there on the pitch that turn players into absolute legends.
Section 1. Birth of the World Cup. From vintage origins to the miracle of Bern. Okay, so picture this. It's 1930. You've got these vintage stadiums, packed to the brim with passionate fans, watching Uruguay claim the very first triumph. Then, as we move through the 30s, Italy steps up and establishes the sport's first real global dynasty, dominating with this unmatched tactical discipline. Fast forward a bit to 1954, and we hit the famous Miracle of Bern, where West Germany completely shocked the heavily favored Hungarians. Even without global broadcasting or modern tech, the sheer passion of these early tournaments sparked a worldwide phenomenon right out of the gate.
Section 2. Pelé and the Golden Era. The beautiful game takes center stage.
1958. We really need to pause dramatically on this year, because this is the exact moment a teenager named Pelé just completely exploded onto the global scene. And honestly, it wasn't just that Brazil won the tournament, it was how they won it. Pelé brought this entirely new rhythm, this incredible speed and flair to the pitch that fundamentally changed the visual language of the sport forever. A real game changer. Then we jump to 1970, which is pretty much universally considered the absolute peak of Brazil's golden era. Defined by the mature magic of Pelé, this team didn't just win football matches, they elevated the sport to an actual art form. The intricate passes, that seamless coordination, the attacking brilliance. This was the precise moment the concept of the beautiful game truly captured the world's imagination. Section 3. Maradona and modern football. Leadership and legendary dominance. All right, 1986, enter Diego Maradona. Now, this was a totally different flavor of magic compared to Brazil's Golden Boys. It was an absolute masterclass in sheer willpower and fierce individual leadership that quite literally carried Argentina to the title. I mean, watching Maradona conquer obstacle after obstacle through pure, unadulterated brilliance, it's the ultimate hero's journey in all of sports. But hey, while these massive individual stars were stealing the spotlight, entire national teams were busy carving out these distinct, legendary identities that would dominate for decades. Italy became world-renowned for their unwavering resilience and defensive mastery. Germany, they defined themselves by this relentless mechanical consistency that could just grind down any opponent. And Brazil kept their dominance rolling through sheer offensive flair generation after generation. These national identities essentially became the main characters of our story.
Section 4. The 21st Century Revolution, Tactical Shifts and Global Superstars.
So, the turn of the century hits, and it brings a towering new standard for what it means to be a global superstar. In 1998, France claims this incredibly emotional victory on home soil, completely led by the absolute elegance and vision of Zinedine Zidane. Then, just 4 years later in 2002, Brazil reclaims the throne, powered this time by the unstoppable, explosive force of Ronaldo Nazario. These guys were thriving in the modern, heavily televised era where the stakes were higher than ever before. 2010. Wow, talk about a massive tactical earthquake. This was the tournament where Spain completely revolutionized modern football. They introduced the world to tiki-taka, this breathtaking, possession-based, rapid passing game that essentially starved their opponents of the ball. It wasn't just effective, it literally rewrote the tactical manual for how football could be played and won on the biggest stage imaginable. And the evolution just keeps rolling. 2014 showcases pure, ruthless German efficiency, a relentless campaign that culminated in that unforgettable, historic run in Brazil. Right on its heels, 2018 introduces a completely new era of French acceleration with the explosive arrival of Kylian Mbappé. We were officially transitioning from that tactical, possession-based dominance into an era of breathtaking, sheer athletic speed. Section 5. The Ultimate 2022 Showdown, a cinematic climax in Qatar. Which brings us to that historic final in Qatar. The ultimate generational clash. It was literally Lionel Messi versus Kylian Mbappe. You have the established legend desperately seeking his crowning achievement, going toe-to-toe with the young, explosive superstar looking to cement a brand new dynasty. It was just two iconic players trading incredibly dramatic goals in real time, elevating the sport to a level of tension that no scriptwriter could ever match.
And it all culminates right here. Picture the sky just erupting with fireworks and these raw, intense, emotional celebrations as Lionel Messi finally lifts the trophy. It's just the perfect poetic resolution to a storyline that has been building and evolving since 1930. It perfectly encapsulates the historical fame of this incredible tournament for a whole new modern audience. So here's my final thought for you. We've traced this amazing 92-year evolution, from those gritty 1930s stadiums all the way to ultra-realistic 4K modern glory. We've seen the icons, the profound tactical shifts, and the dramatic highs. But the timeline doesn't end here. With the sport faster, more technical, and more global than ever before, who's going to step onto the pitch next to write the following chapter? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it gave you a fresh perspective on the beautiful game.